Hey, hello everybody, welcome to the Sound Test Room. Today we are taking a look at a brand new app from Baby Audio called Pitch Drift. Now this is completely 100% free and it's a pitch fluctuation app. If you've ever listened to vinyl, a vinyl record, or you've listened to tape cassette, or reel to reel, even in great big massive recording studios, anything that's kind of processed with an analog signal and not digital, you will have been listening to some pitch drift and pitch fluctuation while you've been listening, even though you probably have never been aware of it. And of course, the better the equipment, the less pitch drift and fluctuation you will get. So for example, if you're listening to a gramophone, an old gramophone from the 20s or 30s, which runs at 78, you're going to be hearing a higher amount of pitch drift and fluctuation in something that's old. Whereas modern equipment like, high-end record players, stuff like that, you'll still get pitch drift and you'll still get pitch fluctuation, although you won't really notice it. And then things like dust and dirt, scratches, clicks and pops in vinyl, they also add to the fact that the record will pitch drift or fluctuate in speed and stuff like that. So basically this is what this does. Now you can go fairly extreme, but I would suggest you use it more naturally. So for example, if we apply it to this pad sound here, and I just drop it in while I'm playing the pad, you'll hear it drifting, obviously, and that to me that's a bit too much if I'm going for a more natural response. So even that might be a bit too much, but we can go even further. So let's hold one note here, or let's hold a chord. But you can also change the speed of the amount of drift. So if we click and hold in the center here on this little oscilloscope, you can change the speed that it drifts as well. I mean, have you ever thought to yourself, why does vinyl sound so good? Well, I think it does. Why does vinyl sound so great? Because there's all these little imperfections that are present. And many of the vinyl records that were recorded when onto tape, they will also have been recorded with slight variations of pitch, drift and speed fluctuation, etc. It can't be avoided because of anything that's mechanical. So that's like obviously miles too much, but something like this. Now, of course, it can be applied to just one instrument. Maybe a better example is if I now put it onto my voice, you can't really hear it at all because, it's spoken word, there's stopping and starting. Even if I whack up the amount and the speed, unless I hold excuse me, you're only gonna hear the effect if it's a sustained note sort of thing. But your brain will perceive the effect. And it will be more natural because it prefers stuff that's analog. Since we are basically analog. Anyway, so there's that on voice. On this, right, I've got this very cool patch from Playbeat, which is from Dean Daughter's pack. We'll put it in on there. I'll mute my mic. something like that, that's perfect, because you're not really aware of it drifting in pitch or speed, but it's there. And it's more like, that would be more like the effect of listening to that on a piece of vinyl, or maybe on a tape cassette, etc. And of course we have plugins now like needle points and things like that, that we can recreate the vinyl effect as well as everything else. It's very cool. So as you saw there also, they have the amount and the speed there, so you can send this to one of your LFOs or whatever and modulate it that way for a more kind of extreme effect. So for instance, on something like, now I've got a complete this one here is a mix of a song, a track. On this one here, this is a drone, kind of a drone. So we'll apply to that. And Mononike is also very good at, we can apply some vibrato, very slow vibrato, which is drifting the pitch as well. Let's drop pitch drift in. Okay, and last I will play out this track. So it's one of mine, instrumental. So I shall just reset that there. So what I'll do is I will switch the mic off again. Guys, listen, if you're enjoying the video, please strike the like, subscribe to the channel. Please consider becoming a Patreon. And I'll see you very soon. But what I'll do is, for the end of this, I'll end the video after I've played this. I'll play this through, and in various parts of the track I'll drop in pitch drift, and we can play around with more extreme settings. So this would be more like listening on via cassette, or like again on vinyl. But this is very good because we like to listen to stuff that's natural sounding. Our brain can perceive stuff that we can't actually hear, you know. Oh, by the way, and this is a completely 100% free app. It's not going to cost you anything. And if you use it in a very subtle way, you're going to get very, very, very realistic effects of what you're listening to records. You can't really hear the fluctuations in pitch, not unless it's an old piece of equipment, like an old record player. Then you'll hear it. I'm sure you have in the past. You know, you hear cheaper record players or something go, no, it's wibbly wobbly, or it's whatever, to pick up everything, all the noise from the motors and what have you. All that stuff is present even in high-end gear. It's just that you can perceive it, but you can't hear it. You don't know what it is. You just know that it sounds nice. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, there you go. I'll stop waffling on, mute this, and play this. And if you're still here, you've done well. Right, and for the very end here, although I guess probably most people won't be still here for this, but I'm going to put in an app called Needlepoint here, and this is by Unfiltered Audio. And you see this app here simulates vinyl record. And this is the default patch here, and I'm going to choose a factory preset called, if I can find it here, it's in coloration here, 180 gram. So this is simulating 180 gram vinyl, kind of 33 thing, but we can take the noise level down. But let's say there's a little bit of damage or dust. I'll exaggerate it a tiny bit. Now the age we'll leave new. So a little bit, a tiny bit of dust, right? But no pitch variation or wobble in this app. What we have in this one. So with the mixture of these two apps, you're going to get a very realistic, at sensible levels, of course, you'll get a very realistic vinyl effect. So if we drop them both out and then put them both back in,